Hey, good morning. I'm Colin from LearnItDoItProfit.com, and today I'm joined by.
Lydia Martin.
There you go.
Good morning.
Good to have you on. And what is your site?
I actually work with Belinda Ellsworth at stepintosuccess.com and direct sales industry icon for sure, speaker, trainer, author, and it's such a privilege to be a trainer with that company. And I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Colin.
Sounds good. I'm excited to have you. So let's just jump ahead a little bit. We're going to go back.
Okay.
You work with Linda Ellsworth. How did that happen? How did that come about happening?
So I have been blessed to be in direct sales for 20 years. It'll actually be 20 years next month. And, I was one of those, I'm sure like many stories, you kind of start in direct sales having no clue really what it is, what it's going to do for your business. You just think to yourself, I need a little bit of extra money. And you have no idea where that world's going to take you. And, we can talk a little bit about all the benefits I feel direct sales is in a minute. But long story short, I developed this amazing passion for just teaching and training. I am a teacher by trade. I was a music teacher actually when I started, but I learned how much I loved helping other business owners and really fell in love with technology. So that was kind of my niche. I fell in love with teaching technology tools, social media, apps, things like that. And I had been following Belinda Ellsworth for like 16 years in my own business. I mean, I had heard her speak multiple times. I had all her products and training programs. She literally transformed my business to the massive, organization it became. And we had an opportunity to meet a couple times. So she got to hear me speak at a couple, retreats and little events and things like that. And long story short, basically said, I need someone training technology on the Step Into Success team. Will you join us? And it was just kind of that opportunity dream come true and felt like the next step in my career. After 20 years of doing this, I thought, what an opportunity to get to reach so many more direct sellers, than just my own personal team. So that was about 6 months ago. So it's been quite a ride, a great journey. I'm learning a lot and loving working with her. She's really amazing.
That's an awesome story. Actually, you're working with your mentor, basically, right?
It's amazing. I mean, think about it. If you think of the people you follow and you learn from, that opportunity to get to work with them, sometimes I have to pinch myself. But no, it's been a great opportunity.
So let's go back a little bit now to the start of that 20-year journey. What was it? What was the catalyst that prompted you to even look at a network marketing or direct sales business?
Well, I'm sure, 20 years ago, it wasn't as huge, obviously, as it was today. I mean, there was Tupperware and Mary Kay, and I was only 23 when I went to my very first direct sales party. And so I didn't really know about direct selling. We didn't throw around terms like network marketing 20 years ago. So I literally just went to a party and thought, I was watching this woman cook things from boxes and cans, and I was a terrible cook. Like, I had only been married for 2 months and we were living on spaghetti and hamburger helper. So I thought, is what?
That's a winner to me.
So I'm watching this and I thought, oh my goodness, I could learn this trade, and how fun would it be to be paid to learn how to cook rather than pay someone to learn how to cook. And I really just kind of jumped in blind because I think the best thing about direct sales, a lot of us want to have our own business, but normally you're going to start a coffee shop. The risk is huge. I mean, the investments that you have to make, and if it doesn't work out, there's so much you can lose. But in direct sales, to me, it was a no-brainer. I'm going to buy this kit. I'm going to give it a try. If it doesn't work out, what is the worst thing that can happen to me? I'm going to be stuck with all these amazing products. So I just kind of jumped in blind and had no idea. I thought if I make a car payment, I will be thrilled. And that was really my focus when I started.
So tell us about your first 6 months in direct sales. What was that experience like?
I was just having fun. I think some people take themselves too seriously. I just kind of jumped in and I thought, I was just so excited about everything. And I think enthusiasm goes a long way. Some people think, well, I can't ever help somebody else do what I do until I know the business or I know what I'm doing. I never had that mentality. It was always like, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to invite other people if they want to know more and just kind of say, well, the person who helped me get started will help you too. And I think that just is what drew people. And before I knew it, I had a team before I ever really was trying to have a team. And that's kind of how it all got started.
At that time, what was your profession? You said you were a teacher, right? Were you teaching at that time?
I was a full-time music teacher. So I actually did add the business alongside that. And what an amazing benefit to have that kind of flexibility where you set your own hours. You know, I could work on the weekends or at nights alongside my teaching job. But the amazing thing is within 18 months of doing that business, I had matched my teacher income. So when I got pregnant with my first child, it was kind of a no-brainer. I was like, do I keep teaching or do I start really making the most of this business and get to stay home? And that had always been a dream of mine. So that's what I did. Became a stay-at-home mom in 18 months.
There you go. So when you first started, what was your husband's take on it?
Well, it was funny because when I first told my husband I wanted to do it, he said, "You're going to cook for people." Like, it was kind of a shock for him because I really was not into cooking. But he honestly, for the first year, had no idea what I did. It wasn't until I took him on our first incentive trip. So my first year in the business, I earned an incentive trip to San Diego. We were newlyweds, so no kids at this point. And we're standing on top of this gorgeous hotel in San Diego overlooking the Coronado Bay. And he's just looking out going, I can't believe this was free. I can't. And then at that point he went, okay, tell me what you do. And that kind of got him on board. And that there's no looking back. From that point, it was like, when are you doing the next party?
The proof was in the pudding, basically.
Exactly.
So for you, you basically started out enthusiasm and that belief of wanted to get something accomplished. For you, it was about the product first, right?
It was about the products. And, you know, again, it was all about just a couple, you know, sure, a car payment would be great, but I wanted the products anyway. And then, you know, I just realized so quickly all the skills I was learning that I could apply to so many other areas of my life. You know, I was not a natural born, you know, public speaker. I really wasn't a comedian at that point. I don't consider myself a comedian now, but I wasn't as relaxed with people. And I couldn't really, I would get flustered. Like if I dropped something on the floor or I did something that I felt was silly, you know, and I've just learned so much about being comfortable and confident from getting out there, being with people and meeting so many different people, not always just being in your same circle. I think that really expands your, you know, just learning how to deal with all kinds of different personalities from your team, your hosts, everything. So it's just such a great learning experience.
So when you first started, where did the training come from? Were you open to the training? Were you open to you see, now it's very different. Let me just rephrase this. Now it's very different for network marketing and direct sales. It's very popular. And there's both sides of the coin. You know, some people say, you know, they're negative to it and they're positive to their difficulties. When you got into it, you just saw the positive, correct?
I really did. In fact, all I could think of is, you know, if this doesn't work out, you know, I really didn't feel like I was going to lose anything. So I thought, but I'm not going to know where this is going to take me unless I go all out. So once I decided to do this full time, I totally committed myself to learning. So back in the day, we learned by cassette tape, right?
Yep, I remember those.
You know, right? So cassette tape. So our company had a thing called a lending library. And you would just borrow these cassette tapes and you'd get them for 3 weeks and you would listen to them, mail them back. I did not drive anywhere without a training tape going on in the car. In fact, when I first met Belinda about 3 or 4 years into my business, I bought all her products. And of course, they were all on cassette tape. And every time I would go to show, I'd be listening to the words. What are they saying? What words? And I would be saying them out loud to myself. And it was literally just that repetition, constantly learning, going to every meeting, every conference, every opportunity to learn from others. And that is totally what helped build that foundation for my business. Absolutely.
So now, when you started out, what was how many hours did you spend on your business compared? I know you were just, as you can see there, Leslie having some fun in the chat.
I love it.
Best to ignore him, but it didn't work. But when you started out, you didn't have any children, so you had a lot more time to run your business. I'm assuming, how much time did you spend on your business?
Well, I did. Now, like I said, so when I first started, I was teaching full time. So I still was pretty part-time with my business when I started. I would do, you know, maybe an hour or two at night, except the nights that I would have a party, do a little bit more, and then put a little bit of time in the weekends. But it was super part-time in the beginning. When I finally quit that full-time job. That's when I had my daughter. So then, of course, now I'm a full-time mom trying to run a business. But the key was it was all about consistency for me. It wasn't really about quantity as that quality consistently. So when I worked, it was trying to prioritize, in this next hour, if I've only got this hour, what is the most important thing that I need to work on? And I wasn't always good at this. I learned this, like most of us, the hard way. How many times have we spent 40 hours in a week and we look back and we go, what exactly did I just accomplish this week? Because we're just always trying to push papers or read emails or, things like that. And back then it was like, what do I need to do to really get where I want to go? And so it was always trying to maximize the time I had, but always scheduling that time. I mean, I worked my business in some way every day, whether that was talking to someone, in person, following up with someone, working, closing shows, whatever it is. The consistency is what kept me going. Absolutely.
This is a great segue now into the process of working your business. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to working your business, how do you prioritize that, the different steps to it? Okay. I know there's definitely the prospecting step, there's a customer service follow-up step, and there's a training, and there's coaching. So how
I know it gets overwhelming, especially once you build a team, because you're trying to balance your personal business, your team. Honestly, that I learned all of that from Belinda. Belinda Ellsworth has this program called the Power Hour. Mm-hmm. And in that program, she breaks up an hour, even if it's not all in a row, but she breaks your business up into 15-minute increments. And each increment is very focused. So one is focused on sales and bookings and filling your calendar. The other one is on following up with your recruit leads. Another one is following up with your new team members and then your performers. And there's just lots of different things that get you to focus, like customer care. So many people miss out on business because they don't take care of those they've already worked with. So 15 minutes of customer care is following up with those customers and thanking them for their order. How are you liking it? How's it going? Do you need ideas or tips or help? And I just think that goes so far, because I think some people, if you want referrals, if you want to be the one they talk about at the water cooler, it's all about customer service. So huge. So that's kind of how I would prioritize my time. If I had 15 minutes, it was in one of those areas. It wasn't pushing papers. I love paperwork. I'm one of these people that I could just play with papers and just, now a lot of it's electronic, but still the thing I learned very quickly, it's not paperwork that makes you that income and gets you to those goals. It's people work. So you really got to spend time with the people.
Let's talk about the follow-up process, especially for customers, because I think a lot of direct sales business owners drop the ball there.
Absolutely.
A lot of us believe that we want high levels of customer service when we go to Nordstrom's or Macy's, but then we don't turn around and deliver that. A lot of direct sellers, the transaction ends after you hand over the credit card and goodbye.
Right. They just here this person may have just spent $250 with you, and you just go, woo, cha-ching, and you move on. And the thing of it is, that person may have spent $1,000. That person may be the person who leads you to 50 other people. And it's not like we call them because we want more from them, but that appreciation and that thank you. How many times have we ordered something from a catalog? And if that company called us and said, thank you so much for your order. Did you have any questions or anything else you need? You'd be like, oh my gosh, right. Yes, there was something else. What Belinda teaches is a 2-2-2 program where you follow up with your customers and thank them 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months after you've met with them. And that is huge. That 2-day call or contact, so many people add on to their order because they went home and went, oh, I forgot to get such and such. Or they're thinking about it, they're excited, and then they go, oh, I don't know why I didn't book a party. I really should have. But if you never call them, that is a complete lost opportunity. So follow-up is huge.
And the other part where we drop the ball when it comes to follow up is that initial contact when you meet that initial prospect. It may not be the right time for that person, but you totally forget to
the tracking.
How do you recommend direct sellers going about coming up with a system that they can actually track their prospects through a process?
And a system is key. When you have systems, that's what helps you. So now these days, I won't say how I used to track before, but now everything for me is right here.
We got to stop talking about cassettes and catalogs and, you know.
Right. So I think, there's so many great productivity tools out there that are going to help you with that tracking. And today it's all about, is the information always with you? So, if this is what works for you, then use this. But then this always needs to be with you, because you want to maximize those times when you run into someone at the grocery store who says, oh my goodness, I need to buy such and such, or I want to have a party. If you have no way of capturing that information right then and there, for me, it's as good as gone. I mean, I learned very quickly, Post-it notes got lost. I wouldn't remember. And how many missed opportunities do we have when we aren't consistent about tracking? So I definitely am an Evernote gal. I track everything in Evernote. What I love about Evernote the most is its tagging system. So when I enter in someone's contact information, I tag them according to the type of lead they are. And so I can tag them as a recruit lead, as a July lead. You can tag them by month, by type, by whatever. And then the great thing about Evernote is you just type in July lead, and now I have all those people who said, I want to have a July party. They're all in here ready to go. And then I can check them off. It just helps me. Somebody else said they love Evernote as well. It's just a huge productivity tool for me. So that's made a big difference.
Evernote definitely made a big difference. So how do you, I don't know, you just mentioned how you go about tracking them. Do you put your leads in different categories? If someone is not interested or didn't show interest today, do you tag them for a follow-up in a certain period of time? Or
Absolutely. So like I said, I do use the month, a lot of times the month tag or the type tag. I also always had something called a someday list.
A someday list.
A someday list. Okay. And I had heard that, I don't know if it was from my company or from Belinda, but basically there are so many people that say, I'm not ready to do this right now, but someday. And you should, this list should be constantly growing for you. That way, anytime your company offers a special new consultant promotion, or, you're having a special event at your house, you've got this group of someday people that you're just going to follow up with and say, hey, you asked me to follow up with you. I had to tell you about this great option, or just check in. What's going on in your life? Have things changed? I know you said you wanted to earn money after your daughter was married or whatever. And you got to take good notes like that. People who say, I can't start right now because my son's having a baby or whatever, you put those in there so you can be really personal when you talk to them. It's not just, I'm calling to sign you up.
Usually that's how the conversation go. Are you ready to sign up or not?
Exactly. So
do you use a specific CRM, or do you use Evernote as your CRM?
Well, with Step Into Success, we use an Infusionsoft. So, but for most direct sellers, that's not necessary. But no, I absolutely use Evernote, and that's how I track. And of course, and our company's website too would have the CRM, so we could do a lot of customer follow up, see what people ordered. I didn't take the time to put in all that information in Evernote. It was just more anything I need to know on the fly when I'm in a carpool line, because people have to maximize those small pockets of time no matter where they are. So I'm like, you've got 10 minutes, you're waiting somewhere. Okay, who do I need to follow up with? July leads. Oh my goodness, I've got 3 people here that said they want to have a party in July. I'm on the phone. I'm going to find out what's going to work for them. So that's what worked great for me.
And Leslie asks if you use preset tabs or you create them as you go.
I create as I go. In fact, when you click on the tags in Evernote, I didn't realize how many hundreds of tags I had, because it's not like I went in there and created all those. I just create them as I go, as I need. I just find that to be easier. And then that way in my mind, it's like at that moment, what do I need? It might be a new tag. It might be a tag I've used, but no, I don't have preset ones. So
do you still have the training that you've done on Evernote? You've done a Blab with an Evernote training. Do you have that posted? I
do actually, and I'll post the link. I did just a quick little, this was like, I had only been on Blab like 3 days. So I thought, well, I'm just going to hop on here and talk about what I love about Evernote. So I'll post the link to that Blab. Of course, if you follow me, follow my profile, you'll see that replay on there as well.
And
those of you that are live.
Blab.im/direct sales rock.
Yes, direct sales rock. So, and then the reason why I did that is I think a lot of direct sellers know about Evernote, but they don't know how to apply it to their business type. Okay. Because, Evernote's for everybody, but everybody uses it differently. So I actually, we have a course at stepintosuccess.com. It's under Digital Academy. And it's a course on how to use Evernote in your direct sales business. And I think that is a helpful thing, just because I really walk you through how do you use it to follow up with your leads? How do you use it for invitations, communication, host coaching? So I'll post the link to that as well.
Please do. And then the training that you actually did a pretty cool, you mentioned a cool feature basically where they can use it as a website where it's constantly updated, and the link is always live, but the notes are constantly updated for
a promotions link. Right. And, because this is the thing. I always feel like, a lot of people get in direct sales because how awesome is it that you have a company that's designing the product, helping you with the marketing, handling the distribution. You have so much you don't have to do. It's amazing. But if you want to be unique and be set apart from all the other consultants in your company, you have to go above and beyond and do something special, I feel, for your customers, for your hosts, so that people think of you when they think of that company. So I created a promotions link where I offered my own special events, my own, special offers, and I created an Evernote with a link. And then my customers just basically learned, you want to know what Lydia has going on? Go to this link. And it was in Evernote, it just automatically updates. It looks fantastic. It kept people connected and engaged with me. So I loved Evernote. That worked great.
So what is another productivity tool that you would recommend for network marketers or direct sellers?
I would totally be lost without Google Calendar as well, for sure. And, it's so funny. I had Google Calendar for a long time and just used it to enter events, but I did not use all of the other features. I didn't
some of those features, because I just use for events right now. So maybe
okay, well, and I mean this for events, but just here's one tip. Okay, so for our team, we have a call, the check-in call daily. And how many conference calls have you been on? Where you dial the number, you wait. They say, "What's the access code?" You have to go. Okay, where do I put the code? Where's the code? Hit the pound sign. This is the simplest little tip. And those of you that know it, you can laugh at me if this is just a no-brainer. But I put in the phone number, okay, in location. So when you add it as an event, go to location, put in the phone number, comma, the access code, and pound. Okay, and that gets saved in here, right? So that now on my calendar, when I click on it, okay, I just open the event. It's a live link. I just tap it. It dials the phone number. The comma makes it wait till the person says, "What's your access code?" It dials the number for you. I mean, how many times have we been on the road having to connect to a call? You can't be like, "Where's the number?" Type in the all I do is hit a button and I'm going to go to that call with the access code. I mean, is that something you knew, Colin? Is it just me that was excited when I learned that?
I'm trying to be cool right now, but I'm so excited to get that tip, I actually did not know that, and I've had the same struggle of trying to drive and with one hand trying to put the code in, and then you're pressing the wrong button.
So dangerous. Yeah, yep. So dangerous. So that little tip, I have learned to put phone numbers, addresses, anything that Google will turn into a live link in the location or in the notes. Mm-hmm. I find the location section is actually the best spot to put it because it just comes up. As soon as you tap, it's right there at the top, and you just location is huge because what I used to do when I would book a party is go to contacts and put in all my host information there. Well, then when I got to go to a party, I got to search for them. I found it so much easier to just set their party in the date and put their actual address in the location. And then that way, as soon as I tapped it, it takes me right to Google Maps, open or iMaps or whatever you're using. Right. And I have nothing to type in when I'm going to a party. That was huge for me.
That's definitely huge because I didn't know that, and I think it makes a big difference to me right now, especially with the comma.
Yeah, I know. That's huge. You're going to be very excited. So I always store my phone numbers in that spot. And then, of course, if you have a weekly call, then you just create an event that repeats. Right. The phone number's always there. And another thing people don't ever think to do, because sometimes you're like, oh, no, I scheduled that party. I don't even know when the date is. To pull down, I don't know how to do it on an Android phone, of course, but to search. Some people they think they have to go on their calendar and kind of scroll and search, enter that name or that location or that whatever. Boom, it's going to pop up. A lot of people don't think to use the search bar.
So now we got 2 awesome tips so far. Evernote.
Yes.
I like tips in threes. What is a third productivity tool that you would recommend, or productivity tip?
The third one I cannot live without, and there are options, but for my Mac, I think this is more of a Mac Apple thing, but I believe everyone needs to have a password tool. This saves me so much time. I use a tool called 1Password. Yep. And there's a lot of them out there. I used to use Dashlane is another one. And I think I'm sure there's free ones out there too, but I love 1Password because there's a lot of great features more than just storing your passwords. Mm-hmm. But this tool, I mean, think about it. In fact, when I pull up 1Password, I have like 335 logins. There is no way I can keep up with what password, what username. But the real tip is in 1Password. I don't know if they all do this, but all I have to do is type in what I need. Like, let's say I'm going to Google, okay? If I just hit Google, it will pull up the sign-in page and automatically enter my email and password, and I'm in. It's like the vault. It just opens the vault.
I use LastPass for that. And
LastPass. That was the other one. Is that one free?
No, it's $12 a year I pay, I think.
Okay. Oh, that's cheap. Well, see, the way I think 1Password is $50 one-time fee.
Okay.
Okay. So some of them are recurring. Some of them are like a one-time thing. And of course, it syncs as well.
And I definitely see the benefits in that because my wife, when I first met her, she had a password sheet.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, that is so secure.
Yeah.
The whole sheet back and front with different passwords and logins.
And of course, too, it also allows you to store identity information, you know, all your address, contact info, credit cards. So I love anytime I have this massive long thing to fill in, it's just a click, boom, everything's there. To me, everything that saves you time is beneficial. So that's just my last productivity tip, because if you're struggling with, oh my gosh, I don't know my password, or you're sitting there typing in your information all the time, it's a huge time saver. So that's my third one.
So let's go into growing your business. How do you recommend direct sellers go about growing their business in the environment we are? I know the internet it seems to be the place. Social media seems to be the place. Yeah. And I think a lot of people get lost in doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be mean and say it makes a lot of people lazy. So what is your recommendation when it comes to going around growing your business?
I think of it as kind of a wheel. Okay. So if you are only going to approach your business with one spoke, like your whole thing is, I am only going to promote my business through social media. That's like a wheel with one spoke. It doesn't continually turn. It kind of is going to stop. Okay. Right. Or like a 3-legged stool or something. Okay. That's just one leg. It's not very secure. So you really got to open yourself up to variety, I think. Sure, there are tons of people being successful on social media, and then there's tons of people being successful with the home party, with vendor events, with fundraising. You know, and I think a lot of people, when you come into whatever company you start with, you have kind of this one-track vision. And you think, okay, I'm going to try this. And if that doesn't work, you think this wasn't meant for me. But that's not true. That one area may not have been what's going to work for you. But if you just try this and maybe a little of this, it may completely change the growth of your business. I know people who have just struggled with bookings forever, and then they get on a fundraising passion, okay, because maybe they're all about helping causes, and that's their mission, and that's what they're promoting to people. And all of a sudden now they have this massive business from creating, you know, from fundraising efforts. So you don't limit yourself to one thing. I think making connections while you're out and about, you know, we don't have to just be online. You know, why not connect with people in the grocery store? You know, there's all kinds of ways to strike up conversations and get to know people, and networking events in your town.
Right.
That has been huge for me, you know, connecting with local businesses and, you know, investing and referring people to them, and then they refer people to you. You know, there's just a lot of ways to get your name out there, to get to know people and promote your business.
So you mentioned networking, and you have you shared with me a great story in how you got into networking in your town, offering value, and that's what I loved about it. I would love for you to share that story.
Absolutely. So of course I was in direct sales for, you know, about 18, 19 years. And like I said, I love teaching technology, and it just kind of hit me one day that, you know, teaching tools, like just like we talked about today, some of these little tips, you know, we all have things we're skilled at that we think, well, surely everyone knows these things.
Right.
But they don't, you know, and I thought, well, what if I take some of the things that I really have and love and kind of create some training courses on it, you know, whether it's on, you know, how to get the most out of your iPhone or how to use Evernote for your business, you know, how to create gorgeous graphics for sharing on social media, whatever the case may be. So when I went to these networking events right here in my local town, I didn't really go and say, hey, I'm a direct seller, buy from me. I kind of went and said, you know what, I am passionate about helping business owners. Here are some courses that I'm offering, you know, and I kind of went through they weren't even created. I just kind of went in on a long shot and said, these are the courses, you know, I'm offering. I said, I'm offering. Okay. Dates were not set. I just wanted to see the reaction. It was like a feeding frenzy. You know how, you know, you go to these networking events and everyone gets about 5 minutes to talk. Yep. At the end, it was like, whew, people just ran to me and said, I must have this. I don't know how to use this tool. I need help. I need somebody to walk me through. So I think going to these networking events, let's say you're in I don't know, a jewelry business, a fashion business, going and saying, I teach you how to dress for success. Okay. That's so different than saying, I sell clothes or jewelry, you know what I mean? So teach, you know, what can you teach? What value can you offer to people? What content, you know, that sort of thing. And I think people are going to be drawn to you, and it's just going to naturally lead into them wanting to connect with your business.
That's absolutely awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing. Are you still in direct sales?
I actually am as a consultant. I do still have a website that, you know, people order from, because after 20 years, you build up a customer base.
Right.
Who they know you, they've worked with you for years, and if they want something, they want to just go online now and get it. So I do that, but I do no longer promote my own business. My whole passion and mission now is to help other direct sellers be successful. And being alongside Belinda Ellsworth, I mean, that's been her mission for 20 years. She actually started Step Into Success at the exact same time I started my direct sales business. So it's very funny. We're both celebrating 20 years this year.
That was how it's supposed to be. You also mentioned that your daughters are into direct sales also.
You know, one of the coolest perks about, one of the things that, you know, you get shocked along the way of why your business is so beneficial to you. My kids have known nothing else. I started my business before any of them were born. And I have 3 kids ranging from 7 to 18. And my older 2 girls have been homeschooled for about 5 years. So they didn't only just see mom doing the business, they saw the day-to-day, mom on the phone, mom, you know, with the gold trip chart. Okay, I've earned 19 incentive trips in 19 years. So they would help me track incentive trips. They saw vision boards, dream boards. My daughter, my oldest daughter, when she turned 16, we went to a direct sales party, and that company allows 12 girls, anyone, boys and girls, 12 and up, to join the company alongside a parent. And she said, I want to do this. And she has been rocking her own direct sales business for 2 years now. And what an experience. She has gotten so much great business experience, marketing experience. And I walked into her room a couple months ago, had no idea she had done this. She had an entire dream board. Wow. Her own dream board of when she wanted to promote, what trip she wanted to earn. She just earned herself a mini iPad, all on her own. And I just think, I mean, it just amazes me when even if your child never goes into direct sales, the skills that they learn from watching mom or dad, it's priceless. I know you're a DSK, a direct sales kid, right?
Actually, I didn't even know it in the label. Yes, I am totally a DSK. My mom was part of 2 direct selling companies while I was growing up. Princess House Crystals, Mary Kay, and I actually drove the Mary Kay red Pontiac.
I love it.
First cars I drove. So I've grown up in the business, and the thing you're so right about it. You emulate what you see your parents doing. And I've always seen my mom as, I call it a hustler, someone always looking to make an additional income, always have options. And I will tell you one thing I like about my mom. She's always worked and had her business on the side, but she's never hesitated to leave a job. If she's not happy, she leaves.
Right.
I think direct selling gives you that freedom and confidence to not that you feel that you're stuck. Right. It makes you feel like you have options. And to me, that's one of the things I love. One of the things I love about the industry, because when it's done correctly, when it's done when it's taught correctly, and I love how you teach it and Belinda teach it, and there's a lot of other people that teach it the correct way. It's a very empowering industry and a very empowering business model. And I just love the industry. I really appreciate that this was fun. We didn't have to do it again. Yeah. we can do the gadgets and the tips and the tricks because you have a lot of, this is a fun chat. I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I have so enjoyed getting to know you, and I love that you have a heart for this industry as well. And that, some people just have such a negative, thought of direct sales. They have no idea the amazing people and opportunities that are in this industry. And so I appreciate you, kind of promoting that and getting the word out. And in fact, Belinda actually has a book coming out on October 5th called Direct Selling for Dummies. So the Dummies franchise of all the direct selling speakers out there contacted her to write this book. And it is going to be an amazing resource. And I think it just puts us on the map, so Direct Selling for Dummies comes out October 5th. If you go to directsellingfordummies.com, there's amazing bonuses you can get right now if you pre-order the book.
And that's next Monday, actually.
No, it's coming up.
We're doing this recording. Actually, that should definitely be a good read. And again, from someone like Belinda, who teaches it in such a positive and a business-minded way, I'm looking forward to diving into it because I love learning about the industry. Love getting perspective from different.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great resource too for people that have a team, because sometimes it may be overwhelming. I don't know all the things. Well, what a great gift that's going to be, for their team to get to learn all the ins and outs, and really it just speaks volumes for what our industry is all about, because it goes into all kinds of details from the very basic to success stories and the whole bit. So it's going to be an awesome resource.
I definitely appreciate you being here, and I appreciate this conversation. I'm looking forward to doing something again. Let's just figure out if we can make it work.
Absolutely. I would love it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin. Have an awesome rest of the week.
You too.